If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Now go download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And now back to Girl Down Podcast with me, Aeon. You're listening to a new episode of Girl Down Podcast with your host, me, Aeon. So sit back, relax, and listen as I unpack the uncertainty of my 30s, one episode at a time. Hey, welcome to another episode of Girl Down Podcast with me, Aeon. And today I want to talk about parental relationships. So today I'm going to talk about the relationship with my mom. First, I want to start off by saying that we are in such a great space, especially when I think this time last year around Thanksgiving we weren't talking. So I just want to say that me and my mom are in a great place in our relationship, and we're in such a. And this isn't to say that we don't have farther to go, but uh, do I, as far as me knowing whether my mother truly not loves me, but truly accepts me for the woman I am, I can confidently say that she does, and for a long time I didn't feel that, and because I didn't feel that, because I wasn't sure in that, it made our relationship really strained. It made it really distanced. I had a lot of resentment towards my mother, mainly because I felt like with me being her only child, and I don't know. I just felt like she should have loved me the way I thought she should love me. And I don't know. It's just been it's been a long road to get to this place in our relationship. We just took our first vacation together in the beginning of this month to Las Vegas as mother and daughter, and it was just really good to be in a space where I'm traveling with my mom and we're just really enjoying each other's company, and it just really feels good to get that to that space, because for the longest time, um, I never thought we would get to that place. So just a background story. When it comes in reference to me and my mom, I was raised as the only child, raised by a single parent. So never really don't know my dad, never seen my dad. From the story that my mom has told me, he chose to not be a part of my life. Now he's listed on his full name is listed on my birth certificate, but no picture, don't even know what he looks like. So for the longest time, it has been me and my mom, us against the world. And when I started to come into my queerness in high school, it kind of my mom is the type of person, she doesn't like to confront things head on. She's very avoidant. That's something that I've come to accept about her, and that's something that my role is to kind of push her and kind of not force her, but to make sure that we're having the conversation about uncomfortable things. Because just growing up, if it was something that was uncomfortable or she didn't want to talk about it, it just would never be talked about. And when it came to my queerness, particularly when my queerness started to become an issue, when I would get caught sneaking boys over to the house when she was at work, or um, doing these things, my mother had a sadness about me being queer. And this was pre-transition. So when I was running around a little butch queen, getting into butch queen stuff. Thank the Lord for keeping me. But she was really sad. It wasn't something that my queerness was something that she did not celebrate. And it did two things. One, it kind of pushed me out to kind of have to explore what these things were on my own as a teenager in mid 2000s Baltimore City, Maryland. And it kind of made me resent her. And I remember before, when it came time to me right before college, I had this mindset, and I remember we would get into arguments where I would give like, I'm moving away, I don't want to come back, I don't want to have a relationship with you because I don't feel like I'm being understood here. And when I transitioned, once I got to Morgan, once I got to school, it kind of put more strain on the relationship, because that instantly wasn't it wasn't the queerness was one thing, but then me wanting to become a woman, that wasn't received with reception. And with a lot of the early milestones in my transition, like getting my name changed and doing stuff at the doctor, I felt that I was left to do that alone, because I guess my mom was still processing it, or she didn't want to deal with it. So I kind of always felt like I was alone and I was by myself, and that made me resent her. It made me. I'm already kind of a secretive person. That made me want to withhold stuff from her even more. Create this family with my friends, and just be kind of cold to her, and not. And our relationship really suffered because of it, because I was hurt, she wasn't trying to really understand, and I don't know. But I wanted to talk about this conversation to say that it does get better with your parents if they are actually trying, because I know so many of us, especially Black queer kids, with our relationship with our parents, it's always preached to us, well, they're still your parents at the end of the day, and you just kind of have to accept it, and you have to roll with the punches. And we've been conditioned to do that. But I'm so happy to be in this generation, and I'm so happy with the babies of this generation, because they're given, no, fuck that. Just because I'm your child, you don't own me. I'm still my own person. I'm still autonomous. And if we're going to be in a relationship with each other, especially as I become an adult, then just certain things have to be respected. Certain boundaries have to be respected. And I'm going to say that it does get better, and it has gotten better with my mom. Has it been easy? Hell no. Have I had to have multiple conversations with my mom and go back to her and address things as they come up? Yes. Is it hard? Yes. I've had to have the pronoun conversation with my mom. I've had to have the name conversation with my mom. And it wasn't just this, and I hate this whole narrative of coming out and all that bullshit, because it makes it seem like this act is like a one-time transactional act, and that's not realistic. It's going to take multiple conversations with your family or with your loved ones for them to get it. It's going to take, even though I left the family unit and I have to, part of my growth is learning that I had to intentionally come back into family stuff, do stuff with my family outside of the house, so that they could be in the world with me, and they could see how the world responded to me as this woman, so it can make them look crazy. Why are you calling me a he? Why are you calling me by my dead name? And the world is receiving me as a woman. Are you trying to make stuff dangerous for me? Are you trying to out me? And if your family really loves you, they'll get it, and they won't want to do that, right? So, but again, your family has to try to get it. And that's one thing I've been helping. I kind of had to accelerate my mom to get to. It's not just, well, we just gonna have to pray on it or I'm gonna work on it. No, if we're going to get to this place of acceptance and respecting people and honoring people, then we actively have to be trying to get to that road mark. And my mom has demonstrated that for me. My mom has shown up for me, and I, in return, have showed up for her. And I'm just so happy that we are at this place now that I'm able to really, and now that she respects me, woman to woman, I just feel like we're able to just go to a deeper level of relationship. Because the things that I'm experiencing, though I am trans, I'm still experiencing the world as a woman, and we're able to relate to each other, and we're able to talk to each other in a different way, because I am out here in the world having these experiences. Though I'm not AFAB, I don't have a vagina, and I don't have all these other things, I'm still pushing up against these systems and these institutions as a woman. And we've just been able to relate and be there for each other in a different way. And it really does get better. But your parents have to try. Your parents have to be open to conversations. Your family has to be open to coming back to stuff, saying how they have gotten stuff wrong. The parents have to be open to your sensitivities. But when somebody is trying, when they're demonstrating that they're trying, like when my mom demonstrates that she's trying, I do try to extend grace where grace is due. But that's all that I wanted to say. I love you, mommy. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Until next time, I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Girl Down Podcast with me, Aeon. If you like the show, please be sure to go on over to Apple Podcasts and rate and review this podcast. Also, make sure that you're engaging with me on social media. Also, if you have any inquiries or you want to send me any questions, be sure to email me at girldownpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, bye y'all.